and you shouldn't be rushing your makeup anyway. Tip. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel where I'm here to help everyday girls achieve editorial looks, because we all should be beat all 2026. There's no excuses. So I am here to give you guys a cute, fun look to do. It's spring, so let's bring out some color and let's just have a ball. Stay tuned and achieve this look with me. I want a super blurred makeup look, so I'm going to be going in with two blurring primers. This is the Danessa Myricks Skin Blurring Balm, and this is the One Size Secure the Blur, because that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Secure the blur. Yeah. I'm just going to go in with this T-zone, because y'all know your girl is an oily girl, and I feel like this product is still good whether you are oily or dry. But if you do have dry skin, then I suggest you definitely use a hydrating primer along with this to just kind of pat this in place and to make sure I am getting in there real good. And I put it on my nose. My nose doesn't really get oily, but I have started a new skincare regimen that consists of tretinoin, so I do have some peeling. So I just want to make sure when I am priming and putting products on my face that I am like actually patting this in and making sure it's getting in there good to help the makeup not separate once it gets onto my skin. Already you can see a difference in this area of my face with that Danessa Myricks. Like, she is just God-given, okay? Next, we're gonna go in with the One Size Secure the Blur, and I actually just bought this on a whim one day, just because, you know, I was just spending money. It's right on top of the Danessa Myricks. Not that it needs any extra, but this is just me being extra because I'm just trying to make sure I am nice and blurred up underneath this foundation, honey. And then definitely the chin and around my mouth. And if you have smile lines, then make sure to really focus in on your smile lines, because this can help minimize the appearance of it. It gives you a nice little illusion that your smile lines don't even exist. And this is just a little Brie tip, maybe not a pro tip, but after you put on your primers, make sure you let it sit. Give it 5 minutes, boo. 5 minutes to let your primer sit and absorb. I feel like it's more effective that way, and it's just getting absorbed into the skin, so that way it can perform better underneath your makeup. So it can live up to what it's advertised to do. So give it some time, sweetheart. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows and allow my primers to sit and settle into the skin. Pencil that I use, it is the Benefit Brow Pencil. Honestly, I have been using this for the past year, and I probably will never go back to any other brow product. It glides on like a dream. I'm gonna stop talking. Actually, I'm gonna do these brows and I gotta focus. I don't like really big brows. I like them to be full, but I do like them to be lightly filled in. Yeah, my brows are not full and bushy. Like, I was not blessed like a lot of people. So yeah, because I really don't even have to clean up a lot of the times. I just do it when I want that extra cream, pause. When I want that extra clean, precise brow, then I would definitely clean them up. But for the most part, I really don't have to if I didn't want to. But for this look, we're definitely gonna clean them up. I don't like laminated brows. I don't like when people get really trendy with the brows. That's just not my thing. I just like my brows to look absolutely natural. Well, as natural as possible anyway. Now, to clean up my brows, I do go in with a concealer brush, and I go in with a pot concealer. This is the MAC pot concealer, and when I say this is no longer being made, it is no longer being made. And if it is, somebody tell me what counter to go to, because I can never find it. I actually got this one from the cosmetics store at the Tanger outlet, so I kind of got lucky with this. But yeah, anywho, needless to say, I use a flat concealer brush like this. And this is a very old MAC brush. Couldn't even tell you the number. Like, there's literally nothing on it. Nothing. But this pot concealer, this is in the shade NC45. I do like it to be a little brighter than my complexion to give that nice, crisp, sharp line. And I start at the tail end because, yeah, that's really where I want it to look nice and crisp. So, and I try to use a good amount, but nothing too obviously crazy, because you don't want to give like, girl, you put too much concealer underneath your brows, because that's ghetto. And I feel like that's where a lot of people go wrong with their brows, because then you do this harsh line and you don't blend it out good, and yeah, you just see this big thick bright line and it just looks so crazy. Never think you're done until you're done, okay? Because the whole point is to make sure that your brows are related, and by blood, not by marriage. I'm going to go ahead and color correct, and this is the Kosas color corrector. Now, this is in the shade Alchemy. It is a nice like peachy orange color. If you are my complexion or within the field of my complexion, you definitely want to get Alchemy. You don't want to get it too orange because it can probably make your makeup just a tad bit darker. So try to stick with a lighter shade of orange. A lot of people may wonder, like, now what makes you feel like you are certified enough to talk about makeup or know how to do makeup? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Even if you didn't ask, I'm going to tell you now. So, firstly, where's my concealer brush? Like, I never was a makeup artist. I never worked at a specific counter per se. I actually taught myself to do makeup like in high school. And then when I got to college, I just kind of really like focused on it a lot more and watched videos like all day long. Like the Jackie Inas, the Jaclyn Hills, the Makeup Shaylas. Like, I still follow these women to this day because they genuinely are the ones who taught me how to do makeup. I feel like I need a little bit more around my mouth. Makeup from YouTube, and genuinely practice. Like, people always say that, and just trust them when they say, and trust me when I say. You just have to practice. It's not gonna come overnight. It's gonna take probably months of you just doing your makeup, just because, like, don't wait until you go out with your girls or on a date. Like, genuinely just sit down, play in your makeup, because that's the only way you're gonna get good at it. So I would just sit down on my weekends or days off and just genuinely just play in makeup. I got so good to the point where I actually worked at a department store that some or most may be familiar with, and I don't mind disclosing that because I no longer work at this department store. But I worked at Dillard's, and I worked in the shoe department. This was like right after college. You know, you just got a job so you can have some money in your pocket. So I worked at Dillard's in the shoe department, and I actually made pretty good money, by the way. I probably need to see if they hire me part-time. No, that's too demanding. I would go to work every day, face beat, like, because I felt like that was the only opportunity I had to genuinely just put my face on and serve the girls and shit, the guys. When you work at a department store, I don't care which one you work at. I don't care if it's Macy's, Bloomingdale's, Neiman's, wherever you work. You want to look put together because you're in front of people all day, every day, and you're supposed to be selling a product, right? Okay, cool. So once you have your color corrector on, you do want to go ahead and set this with the powder. The powder that I'm going to be using today, it is the one size powder. Take like this much, and I won't even use all of this. This is just to have more than enough. Tap that in there, and I tap the extra on the back of my hand, and then I just go ahead and set this in place. Even underneath my eyes. This is also really good for oily girls because a setting powder underneath your makeup is definitely going to help control the oil, and it's also going to help with the blurring effect of your primers. And if you have like a blurring foundation, will also help with that too. Okay, so yes, I worked in the ladies shoe department at Dillard's. Now, I actually enjoyed that. That is a job, though, that is not for the weak. I never really wanted to go into the cosmetics department because the goals were just astronomical. I got an opportunity to manage the kids department. Management, I never saw myself doing it. I was just like, sure, why not? But I never seen myself doing that And I kind of just went ahead and went with it because I was just like, well, you know what? This could be my niche. This could be something that I just find interest in. A true makeup artist never use one makeup palette. I'm telling you, I'm about to use like three palettes just for this eye look. I managed the kids department and did very well there. So well that my store manager, who I love dearly to this day, she was like, you know what? This is too small for you. And I love how you embrace makeup and how you just, come to work looking good. Your makeup always looks good. You look well put together. How would you feel about that? I'm like, feel about what? Feel about what? What are you asking me? Like, managing the cosmetics department. Pardon? Girl, I ain't even want to work in the cosmetics department because I know how crazy it gets, how astronomical their sales goals are. So I'm like, what thing I did? Hell yeah, sign me up. Sign me up, boo. At a whopping 20, how old was I? 26 years old. You got this young 26-year-old managing grown women. When I say grown, I mean like old enough to be my grandmother. Not all, but most, okay? And these women also have like worked at these counters for decades. I mean, years. They know so much about makeup. And here I am begging for a MAC counter. Begging for a MAC counter. And I'm sure they're probably like, girl, please. Like, we the big three. Okay? We the big three. Big three is going to be Clinique, Lancome, and Estee Lauder. And mind you, in 2017, girls my age was not wearing those makeup products. I mean, and if you were, kudos to you. And you literally know your makeup. You know your makeup. Because those brands are pioneers, okay, in the cosmetics world. And anywho, you have to grow and educate yourself a little more to know, like, those brands are the ones that paved the way for your Macs and your Smashbox, all the trendy, cute brands that we are divulging into today. Anywho, let me not get off topic because I definitely can do that. I managed this cosmetics department for 2 years. I believe it was 2 years. And I will have to say, outside of my current job, that was the hardest job I've ever had. It wasn't just about the makeup, y'all. Like, that's the easy part. Of course, that's gonna be something that you have to know is, brands and product launches and hitting goals, and that's really what it's about. Like, it's not just about doing makeup and looking pretty. I was so young and dumb to where I was like, oh, all I gotta do is show up and look cute, and then I can just sell a product. That ain't nothing, because I was so used to selling shoes like it was nothing. Wrongo. Because the previous cosmetics manager, she was like the bomb.com. She was the bomb.com at hitting goals. Now, outside of that, not sure why they wanted to replace her. None of my business. But she was good at hitting these goals, because you gotta remember, the big three is the bread and butter of these department stores. Outside of the women's clothing department at this particular store, that was the bread and butter. Okay, cosmetics. Hitting these gift goals. Gift goals basically is when y'all see Clinique giving you or having these gift of purchases. They'll pre-sale. So you had pre-sale goals, and then you also had just regular sales goals, and then you had like the day of the event goals. I don't work well with a bunch of goals, okay? It's too many numbers to hit, too many numbers to meet. It was just very stressful. It was the hardest job I've ever had besides the one I'm doing now. Department, I had a Dior counter, I had Big Three, I had Clarins, I had Fashion Fair, I had Shiseido, and we had Kiehl's, and then we had an area called the Edge Shop. If you ever shopped at a Dillard's, or if you're familiar with Dillard's, then you know, like, the Edge Shop is basically like your Ulta or Sephora. So it's gonna have all of your cute, trendy brands, boutique brands, and that was the most fun part to me, to be quite honest, because I was this young girl who only knew these brands that was in the Edge department. So that is kind of like where I focused a lot on, and that is what kind of hurt me in the end. They performed very well, but I really should have been focusing on the big three. Working with these brands, I had tons of meetings to go to. They were called round robins, where I would have to travel for work and go to meetings with these different brands. And at this time, this is when Beauty Blender had hit the scene. And I remember going to their round robin, and I was so geeked. Y'all used to get so much free stuff. Like, you know, today these influencers get all of this free stuff, and I'm like, dang, at one point that was my life. Like, I genuinely used to get so much product where I had to give it away. Yeah, not anymore. Go to round robins to understand or learn about these new launches, to actually get backgrounds and everything on these brands to be able to sell it in the store. I remember having round robins with Chanel for their fragrances, round robins for Strivectin, Smashbox, Beauty Blender, like I said, Clinique, of course, all the big three, obviously. Dior didn't really have any. They would just come to your store. They would have representatives come to the store and like educate you then. But for the most part, yeah, that's where I got a lot of my education from. Now, I did want to add a little sparkle. I seen Jackie Aina do this, and I want to do it. You know, Regina George wear army pants and flip flops, so I want to wear army pants and flip flops. She used a Patrick Ta like glittery eyeshadow. I don't have that. I have that a palette, but I don't have the specific one that she has. So we're gonna go in with my, oh Lord, oh Jesus. I was gonna say my old ColourPop. As you can see, it's definitely old. It's like a little sprinkle. She didn't go too crazy, so I'm just gonna use a fluffy eyeshadow brush here, and I'm just gently tapping into this lightly over my lid, just lightly, and then I can build it up. So this is just to give it some, you know, make it a little fun, give it a little sparkle. Anyway, that's my story. I managed a whole department. I actually did pretty well at it. I just kind of wanted to transition and do something different, which they also agreed because they knew it was just a lot for someone of, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think it was like any type of discrimination with age or anything, but I felt like they knew like this was just a lot for this young girl to handle. Like, somebody else needs this. And that's what they did. And I was super excited about it because I went to the accessories department, managed that. And when I say I ate down in that department, please, I was like #1 in the district. I was that girl. So I do know a lot about makeup. Like, a lot about it. I've never done it professionally, but I know a lot of background and education on it. And that's my story. It's not that long. See, it wasn't even like that critical for real, for real. It only took me 2 seconds to really tell that story. Okay, so now for my foundation, this is the Natasha Denona foundation. I'm gonna go in with just a little couple pumps here. So just about that much. This is really all the foundation you need, for real, for real. Now, the trick to doing your foundation that I actually just recently started doing is using a flat foundation brush. This is a game changer for me. It helps me use less makeup and really like spread it evenly so where it's not like heavier in one area than the other. So yeah. And then I just glide it onto the skin. It just helps you use the appropriate amount of makeup where it's not like too cakey. And truly, y'all, this is too dark for me. I don't know what it is about me getting the wrong foundation shades, but I've been doing that a lot lately. And I thought that's all I needed. Let's go on with one more pump. But yeah, we're getting into the warmer months, so this darker shade is actually going to be perfect. I think that's another reason why I don't ever like really return it when I buy them too dark, because I'm like, well, I'll be able to use, I don't know why I wore this white headband. That was dumb. So it's not like I'll never be able to use it. Like, I'll definitely be able to use it. Definitely now. Because it's getting hot outside and your girl can have a tan. Black people like tans too, if you were not aware. I'm just going to put some on our forehead. And I feel like a flat foundation brush just helps you have so much control over product placement. Like how I'm trying to avoid this white headband. Yeah. And then I'm gonna get right here on the brows because, again, because we did use a lighter shade concealer to clean up, so I don't want it to be like too light. Underneath the tail is fine, but not on the front part of the brows. I want this to look as natural as possible. And this foundation is actually really good. I just wish I got a lighter shade, and I'm not gonna go buy another one because y'all got so much makeup, it's just not even funny. Boom, so that's that. Now I'm gonna go in with my Makeup by Mario foundation brush, which I genuinely have just fallen in love with recently. I hardly ever reach for my Morphe brush anymore. Deadass. And we are just going to blend this out to make sure there are no harsh lines and to give a nice flawless look. Is you just want to press it into the skin. You want to dab it into the skin, because when you get to swiping, it just makes things just move and get out of place, and it'll be streaky, and that's just not cute. Again, I'm here to help everyday girls get an editorial celebrity look. Like, you want to look badass, I'm giving you the tricks. Now that we have pressed this into the skin, here we are, it's giving flawless. So I'm gonna go with my concealer, and this is the Natasha Denona concealer, and this is in the shade NY12. This is almost like 2 shades lighter than my complexion, but I'm okay with that. Well, I'm gonna focus this right here on the inner corner of my eyes. This massive forehead that I have, down the bridge of my nose, my stash, and underneath my lip right there. So as we let our concealer sit and get tacky, I am going to go ahead and go in with my contour bronzer, whatever you want to call it. And this is the Made by Mitchell Curve case, and I have fallen in love with this. And this is the one that I got. I think this is like Deep. I think this is called Deep. It takes a skill to work with cream. So if you are not familiar with cream products, then I suggest you stick with a stick or some powder. My contour brush by Morphe. And let's see what bronzer we want to use today. And I'm just going to focus right back here. I don't like to bring my, honestly, I can't even see that. Maybe y'all can on the camera. I can kind of see it on the camera. But I don't like to go too crazy with the contour because, yeah, it can look crazy real quick. So the next thing I want to do while this settles into the skin is going with 2 blushes. I am going to be using my Juvia's Place blush, and this is in the shade Blush Lily, and then also my Rogue Pocket blush, and this is in the shade Date Cake. First, Date Cake. We'll be going in like just a little heavy with it because we are going to be using a concealer to help blend this in place. And I like to use the Date Cake a little further back and up into the temple because it is a darker color. And Date Cake is so beautiful, y'all. Like, this is actually a good fall color. I tend to use lighter colors because I feel like deeper colors age me just a little. All right, now I'm going to go in with Juvia's Place blush, and a little goes a long way with this. And blend out your blush. And again, I am using Blush Lily and Date Cake. Blush Lily just helps kind of give it like a blue tone pink versus like a berry pink. I love that. Should be tacky enough and ready to be blended out. So, and then also it's going to look so flawless blended into the blush. So it's not like boom, blush. It's like giving a nice little gradient effect. And I bring it up on the side of my nose too, just a little bit. Help with the natural looking contour. I really just enjoy doing makeup. Like, even today, it was really difficult for me to get up off that couch from watching Beauty in Black to do this. I was like, I don't feel like it. But you know what? I'm doing this for y'all. I'm trying to give y'all some nice looks that you can help, or that I can help you achieve. And also, I get inspired too. Seeing Jackie do the eyeshadow, and I was like, damn, I just bought that. Let me try to go achieve that look. Because I just been feeling kind of like blah lately, like just on some tired stuff, just wanting to be lazy, So I'm like, yeah, this will help me feel cute. The Natasha Denona concealer, y'all, is so good. It is so freaking good. People be on here talking about it all the time, or at least on TikTok talking about it. And I was just like, let me just give this a try. And yeah, they wasn't lying. Now I will say, it's not hard to work with, but you gotta understand that it's gonna take a minute to blend out because it is very creamy. It's a thick concealer, so you just wanna make sure you are taking your time to blend this out, and don't rush. And you shouldn't be rushing your makeup anyway. Tip: go ahead and use a brightening concealer, and this is the Tower 28 concealer, and this is in the shade OC. I don't know, this is like 50-11 shades lighter than my complexion, but I do want a bright under eye. I'm only keeping this in the front portion of my eye near the tear duct because that is the only place I want this to be bright. So now we're going to go ahead and set this all in place. I'm going to be using the One Size setting powder in the shade Ultra Pink, and I love to put this on top of my blush. Like, his setting powder is undefeated. It genuinely blurs the face. It's so freaking good. That my contour, bronzer, whatever, okay, it's not the same thing, but yeah, this will help just warm up the face, and we love a warmed up face. Ain't no sense in looking ashy, dull, flat. You know, the MAC Studio Fix powder, and this is in the shade NC50. Big fluffy brush like so, and I set the entire face. Now that the entire face is set, I'm going to go in with my House Labs blush, and this is in the shade Dragon Fruit Days, Completely Obsessed. And I'm just going to go right on top of the blush that we already had there to kind of just bring it back to life, because we did lose some color because of the setting powders and the face powder. Now, if you like your blush to be like a little like dormant kind of, then yeah, you don't have to go back in with a powder. You perfectly fine to leave it how it was. But see me, yeah, I want my blush to show, boo. I want my blush to show. But I'm not like a blush blindness girl. You know, like I just wanted to peek through, like, hey, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Okay, y'all, so I went ahead and put my lashes on, and you know, lashes just always elevate a look. I don't care what nobody say. I'm a mascara girl, like through and through, but it's something about a lash, honey. Yes. So we're gonna go in with a white eyeliner, and I'm just not gonna go heavy. I'm just gonna use just a little bit to kind of give it a little pop. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, the white definitely just elevates this a little more. Now we're gonna go ahead and set the face. Today I will be using the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. This stuff is actually pretty good. Like, I don't use it frequently, but I have used it a couple times. Set it good. This is the finished look. Super cute, super girly, super soft, super feminine. That is all what I'm about, and I promise you, you can achieve this same look. You know, just rewatch this video, and if you want more detailed videos onto products, again, I will be happy to do them. This is the final look, finished, done, complete. I hope y'all like it, and yeah, get into it. But anywho, make sure you follow, like, subscribe. I will definitely have more videos like this coming soon, and yeah, see y'all beautiful people later.